Beautiful beings of the universe, hello and welcome back to Now. So, I'll be doing the tarot card readings for today, and before I do, I will just be cleansing up the aura with beautiful candle. And also, would be playing this. Back to tarot card reading. So today, actually, I got this another one, Paradise Found Oracle. So this is another thing. And why I chose this one is because of the beautiful color of the deck cards. And also it has that shiny thing. And for me, beauty matters a lot because it's the beautiful things that keeps you more energetic and creative and happy. So beauty is so essential. So let's see what we got. Yeah, so this is the Emerald Tablet. Emerald Tablet from the Egyptian Thoth. I don't know how to spell that. Thoth. So anyhow, I'll go to this book and see what that says. The Emerald Tablet 36. So it talks about allow the secret teachings of the Emerald Tablet to guide you in reaching your highest potential. Reflect on where you are in your life now and where you would like to be. What may be holding you back from living your true purpose, the higher calling your soul longs to express? You are ready to release any doubts, fears, and judgments of yourself and others that may be blocking you. When you trust more deeply in your own inner wisdom, you gain more clarity about your next steps forward. So, the Emerald Tablet reminds you of your innate creative power, for you are then extension of universal energy through which all things are made manifest. So, and there's a decree that says, I am the divine being of infinite potential, creating all the outcomes I desire for my own highest good and the greater good of all. So, this is amazing. Actually, I'm also reading a lot about Egyptian gods and all of their teachings, what all they have suggested to on YouTube. Actually, I was going through their videos, and they do talk about discovering in an ancient Egyptian temple by Alexander the Great, the Emerald Tablet was encoded with the secrets of universe as recorded by Thoth, the ibis-headed Egyptian god of wisdom. Of unknown origin, the original green crystal tablet may still lie buried somewhere in the sands of Egypt. So, like, this is what it says. And I also am going to draw another one, and that is for trust. And what does that say? It's for trust. So it's on page 68, and I'll go there. 68. Yeah, here it is. So this one says, like the ascended masters, cultivate an unwavering trust in the infinite I am. Okay? So this trust is on your I am, not a trust on somebody else. Because we do realize that there's nobody else to trust. You do not have to trust anybody else but your I am. Okay, the higher guiding force that is always conspiring on your behalf, offering you endless protection and support. So it says you are advised to refine your trust in yourself and God, source the infinite I am, if you want to change your life for the better. When you trust wavers, you block the divine flow of abundance and higher guidance that is always present. So, your level of trust is determined by your ability to surrender to every experience life presents with a simultaneous embrace and release of that experience, whether trial or triumph. So, what is the meaning of staying in the I am? Again, back to the basics of Nisargadatta Maharaj. I am. So, I am presence means you're just accepting from the state of witness whatever comes. So, the good or the bad. Uh, be it you're in a good health or you're in a bad health, or whether you're going through certain sort of challenges or trials and tests in life. So, You need to be able to witness through all of that, because from that witnessing comes strength. And most of the time we have seen that when you are given with a test in life, which itself entire life is a test. So for those who think that, like I used to think, once I was out of my school and college, I do not have to study anymore. Well, the problems of life are so much different than how you solve a problem at school, but the approach is pretty much the same, right? Because you still need to study, you still need to analyze. It might be for any sort of problem statement for life. However, the outcomes that we try to find out is not very straightforward. So, first of all, there are hindrances and blocks that we think, uh, like you are faced with a challenge and you do not want to straight out dive deep into it, because we want to think of trying to escape that, or imagining it will sort out on its own. But sometimes they do sort out on their own. However, if you do have an idea that certain thing works and you take that step, that's very good. What I'm talking about is the resistance before you actually start a thing, because there's a lot of resistance and you just want to keep on postponing something. So I'm talking about that thing. And it is very essential to see why you're postponing that thing. Probably because you do not know how much cost it will take in working with other business partners. Probably because you do not know the idea that the other person who you are expecting them to be an expert, are they truly an expert, or they're just making up a facade about that? Because you see, in these times and age, everybody's an expert and everybody claims to be an expert. So whether they are a financial advisor and they would say, you give me this much amount of money and I'll 10x within these many years. But they always say there is no guarantee. And there is no guarantee about nothing. So how exactly are you going to come to a point where you say, yes, I trust this person? So I can expect, or I can think of working out a business model with this person. And also, it's not just about the people, but there are also multiple circumstances. But coming to the I am status, you first of all just stay in your witness. We are just in the I am, just the I am. And what is that I am state? That I am state is not taking yourself to be any of the thing you think yourself to be. That means what? That means you are not this body, and not the mind, and not the thoughts, and not the feelings, and not the judgments. But it is really difficult to get at that point, especially when you are so colored and delusional in a state of being. Let's say you are not in a place where you feel you are supported. Maybe in your family you are not getting that much support that you expect from rest of the members, or maybe at work you're not recognized for the things that you do, or maybe it might be just anything. So the whole point is, can you go through that while still being detached? So you are actually in a witness state, but you're also, the thing is, you do not need to run away from that. So you stay there and feel the heat. You will feel that your heart is not feeling nice about that, and you just want to escape that. It might be even sitting with your body pain. Like, for example, if you have a pain somewhere in your body, and your instant reaction is, I want to just get out of that. But that is the thing. You need not step out of that. Now you might think, but I can take a painkiller and just be fine with it. But most of the Western medicine, or any sort of medicine that we take, does not cure 100% of a thing, so of an ailment. So it might be like a suppressant, but after a while it comes back, or it might leave a side effect on other side of the body. So of course one takes the medicine when they feel uncomfortable, when the pain is beyond your acceptance tolerance level. But then, if you have little more of insight, and if you can sit with your pain and just watch it grow, and then you will find that after a while, when Sita's gone, you will just feel that it was not that bad as much your mind had actually made that to be. And this pain is exactly similar to the resistance that you build in on the mind before you have to do a thing. For example, if you have to clean up your house and you might have a lot of resistance, you don't want to do that. This is just not something I enjoy doing. And watch the resistance becomes louder and louder as the time approaches wherein you actually need to clean up your space. But as you're into it, it does not disappear very sudden, right? So it's like you still sit with it and just go through all of that uncomfortableness. And as you're going through that, that's when you feel that, okay, that sort of uncomfortable energy that I was feeling in my body, that has just gone away. And I think so is the case with any sort of work that you want to do and you don't really want to do because you have a fear of going through those unpleasant sensations. If some big task has been given at your workplace and you think, oh, that's just too overwhelming, or if you have to work on your own project, something that you've been thinking that maybe I can create a project like this and that, and you have the ideas, but you do not want to start, though you know you have to start. So, is there any way out? Because, like, you can see and read through thousands of books and watch thousands of podcasts and listen to lots of talks, which I do, but I still find myself going through the same problems again and again. So it's very nice to listen to a talk of Krishnamurti or to listen to a great talk by Shunyamurti, who are phenomenal teachers. I'm a huge fan of these guys. Why? Because I love the clarity with which they talk. In the sense, they have truly seen through every aspect of the problem, through every single angle. And that needs massive amount of patience to truly sit with that. See, patience is so important. And every all the spiritual places and masters talk about having patience. And to me, I find that's truly difficult to build because patience is a thing against time, and we are brought up in a way that you want everything fast, you want things done fast. You're just not raised in a way that you want to slow down and be able to watchful at every single thing that you're doing, right? So then it becomes pretty much a hectic way. That's how the schools are teaching. Within 1 year, a child is supposed to learn 10 subjects. And along with that, they also need to do this and that. And they also need to do so and so. And everything is just too much in the volumes of work and the study that a child has to go through till 16 years, 14 years is too much. And it's just like too much in a paced up way. I'm not saying that that education is not important, but that does leave a sort of a mark on the child's mind as the child grows to an adult. There is a resistance of learning because then guess what, your mind is still playing back the memory what you had as a child, that oh my gosh, study still means so much of hard work, and what if I fail? And the way the society is designed, they are never going to tell you that you're enough. You might be the best at something, but you will see a lot of resistance. So that is a sign you're on the right track. If everybody is saying very good, you are doing great, and you are being applauded, you should be very careful, because if you do not get a validation from your inner critique, from your own inner self that says yes, this is a great work for me, do not believe into the lies of others who say this is great. And even if the entire world is against you and you do not have even one supporter, but if you feel your inner voice tells you, your soul tells you that you are on the right path, if that feels just right for you, there's a match between the two. That is the way that we need to go. But I know it's it's easy to say because in real life it's so difficult, as more often there's a lot of resistance. So I'm just talking about this resistance thing. And yeah, because it's not truly so much easy a thing. Like, despite you knowing you have to do something, and you can just keep on procrastinating. Though every day your mind plays out and it says, "Yeah, this is something I can do. This is so damn easy." I know when I sit on that, I'm going to get lots of ideas. I know when I'm going to work on that, I just know that I'm going to nail that. And then if you seek, why do I think so that I'm so smart? Then your mind will say, see, you did this thing last year. That just worked out so well. So, of course, now if you sit on this project, you are going to make that happen. Another thing I wanted to talk about is in a day, you have limited amount of hours. And every day is just going so fast. Like your hours, your time. So, how do you truly get an idea on time? Because every day, that's how it just works out for me. I think that in a day you can do so many things, but when you see actually by the end of the day, you might have just done a couple of things. and probably none of those were what you had been planning for really long time. So the whole point is just to be in the I am. Because when you are not planning too much, then you are giving your whole awareness and attention to the task at hand. And your mind is also not playing out saying, why are you doing it so slow? You should do it faster. And you should have already done this thing by now. Because it's always the noise, the sound, the words from your own self, from your own inner critique that keeps on saying, you should do this by now, just keep on running from here to there. And there is no end to that, right? So by the time it's day or evening, you say, I just had enough. I want to slow down. And you just want to slow down. Because if you are just keeping on running and running and running, you will just be at your grave and just feel useless about that because you truly never slowed down for finding anything meaningful. So why I say that is because it's also critical to truly have some sense of value into what we are doing and also slow down and not just keep on rushing all the time, else life just becomes a race. We keep on running, and there's always a time wherein you say everybody's telling you you have already lost your time. That should have been done 2 months ago. That should have been done 4 years ago. This should have been done by so and so time. But who is it exactly who's setting your time? Is that you? Or is that the society outside of you? And if you're just pushed to run on others' timelines, what is it that you truly want? And this is amazing because you do not know what you want unless and until you are faced with something that you don't want. So let's say if somebody just asks you what is it that you truly want, or even if you ask yourself that question and you do not know what you truly want, but if a situation presents itself in a way that you don't like, you immediately say, I do not like this, I just want to be out of it. I do not like this space, it's so crowded, why are there so many people around? I just want to step out right now because I want to protect my energy, I want to protect my space. So I don't like having too many people being in a crowded place. So that is just one sign. So how do you know what you want is by facing what you don't want. Now can you flip it around? Yeah, sometimes you can if you have that energy left within you, because generally the notion of me not liking this, that has a lot of energy, a lot of heavy energy that just tends to bring you down. And with that sort of a sense, you don't want immediately channeling that energy and converting it to something that you would like. That again, it's all a trick of awareness. So if you are truly watchful and then you do see this is not what you like, but you are staying at your center as the witness, and then from there on you actually get around and say that, do I have a choice? Do I have control? And then your inner being says, maybe sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. For example, if you're standing in a big queue uh, at some counter and you know you cannot pass that queue, you cannot surpass that, so you need to be waiting and you need to have patience on that. You need to accept that, okay, this is how it is. You're at the airport and you're in a queue. You do need to wait. There's no other way. But how about other things, like things which you think that you have control, and then you go about playing that game? So you think that you have control and you can actually turn that around instantly. What Krishnamurti says that this is possible only if you are coming from a detached state. Detachment is essential in this case. However, if you say that if I'm detached, how am I to achieve what I want to achieve? So this is basically you just do the work without the sense of expectation of the output. So as Krishnamurti talks about, this is a sense of working wherein you're just so totally present in the moment and you are doing exactly what is needed out of you to be done. You give entire attention to that work. That now your attention, which was partly divided into where you want to be and how the target needs to be achieved and how you want to be at the end line, that is gone. So that is what precisely means using 100% of your awareness in the now moment. And this is very amazing because most of the time, if you are truly observant of of any activity, how you do it, watching that is so critical. Because you will see, let's say you said, okay, I want to work on a project like so, and you sit with your laptop and you open your software, and now you're starting to work. But you will find there are a lot of different voices going on in your mind. So as you start with the work, you say, okay, first step, now I just open this file and now I start to work on that. And after a while, your mind says, but I don't know the next step. Or somehow you faced with an error. Now you need to troubleshoot. Oh, why am I getting this error? Let me go back and check in Google what is the solution. And then you go and check that, but the problem is just too overwhelming. You know that the scope of the work is so humongous, and you're just trying to figure out in step by step format. But what I'm trying to say is that you should also just watch through that you're not being too much overwhelmed by the number of steps. So let's say you imagine that this task might take you 40 minutes to an hour, but actually when you start on the work, it took you 5 hours, right? So then, but also, can you truly sit for 5 hours on work continuously on a day? Most of the cases, answer is no, because we generally tend to sit for 1 hour and sit on the task and see where it's working, then take a break, come back, and then try and do this and that, and try some stuff that works out. But the whole point is how you imagine about a problem and how it truly turns up. These two things not always match. So many times your calculation of a problem statement might be pretty unrealistic. So you might be thinking, oh, this is something I can make out maybe in 2 hours time. But when you actually sit, it might take you weeks of work. And why is this important? Because this is the reason why we tend to not work where we know we are supposed to be working. Or there might be other things in your head that you say, I don't want to do this because it is not bringing me any joy. So doing any work without joy drains life out of that task itself. So it is so essential that you do the work that you love. And this is very, very essential. Because if you're only trying to make something fascinating to be at the end point and to make it a product and sell it in the market so that you will get lots of money, but if you're not enjoying the journey, that's a whole lot of wasted life and effort. Now what you're trying to create, you might be enjoying it, but there is no, you might say there is no guarantee that somebody else is going to like it, or how am I going to make money out of it. So all these kind of things plays out, but that is okay as long as you just start with what you like. Because doing what you like means that you already have an innate sense of awareness. That was the gift that you were born with. It might be sport or whatever, that you do feel that, yeah, this is my thing, and if I truly work this out, I might make it great. Or it might be a software application, or it might be coding if you like those kind of things. But whether it's about doing a work that you like or it's about doing a work that you don't like, that too needs awareness. Because how else are you to say that I like doing this and I don't like doing that? Now, chances are you might get a lot of, for example, you might be sitting in a share stock market and you are a very good a person with great algorithms and you know lots of tricks and methods to make lots of money. If you enjoy that, that's a great work that you're doing because you're enjoying that game of making strategies, of aligning with algorithms, of seeing how the market works, of seeing the strategies of others. And and but that all is the thing. If you're truly aware of that, if you are enjoying that, that is something that gives you a kick. To me, it all sounds very daunting. And for somebody who's not very much interested into all these things, it might give a sense of I don't know. And nobody wants to be in a space of I don't know. However, if you're starting from a known space wherein you say I know, then going from I know, you're just going to walk a certain steps and soon realize I don't know. Like for example, you say that uh, this is basically the limitation of knowledge. So say you that there's a software Da Vinci, and you say that, yeah, I would rate myself 3 out of 5 in this editing software, and you know what you know, but you also know what you don't know, and the expanse of what you don't know is pretty massive than what you know, because what you know is only the experience of what all you have worked on so far, but what you don't know can lead to lots of probabilities. Even if you see at the point wherein you have come to know yourself, that you say, I rate myself 3 out of 5 working on some XYZ app, for example, is because of the time that you have spent with that, is because of the time that you have learned, uh, that you have spent learning that work. But every point in time, you are going to face I don't know into, no matter how deep a thing be, no matter how great a genius person you may be. Nobody can ever say they know 100% of a thing, because there is no 100% in reality, because knowledge is infinite. What we call as our current rating is only the limited knowledge. And why I'm talking about this is because most of the time it's the haze, the unclarity comes from the unknown. And always the mind is attracted to the unknown. This is the paradox. And in fact, everything is a paradox. And the more deep you are and the more intricate you are as a person, you would be just amazed at the way things are. Because nothing is as it is. Nothing seems as it seems. Nothing truly is as it seems. You see what I'm saying? Because everything is very intricately woven into another thing. You see a thing and you say, I know this aspect of that, but then there's the another aspect which you do not know. So how can you say that you know? And why I bring this up, because it's essential that you are aware of the facts, and not of the imagination of you being having a full rounded view of the picture, because that might not be the case. Now, as long as you know what you don't know and you keep doing one step forward, probably you will, because there is no end to a thing, right? It's just ever expanding. But as you keep on taking steps, like for example, you wanted to make one song, so you made one track, then you made second track, then you made third track, and like this you produced an album, and then gradually you move from one to two to three. So it's a linkage between quality and quantity. Initially, as a beginner, everybody thinks on let's just start, and after all that resistance, one does start. So we get on quantity. So from what you know, you keep on creating. Okay, one video today, one track today, or maybe one painting today, one sketch, or maybe if you are learning cooking, one dish a day, 2 dishes in 2 days, 3 dishes in 3 days, right? However, all of this analysis is truly a paralysis, because you can keep on taking notes. So though this is very essential that we do take notes, and a lot of people have talked about. I was watching on YouTube. There are a lot of talks on how you can how writing changed a person's life, and he was just writing down everything that he's been going through, everything that he wants, tracking down this and that, being very meticulous about that to achieve a certain goal, and that worked for him, which is great. Writing is a great tool, a tip. But then, can you truly write down everything? Because if you are doing so much time, if you are giving so much of a time documenting everything, then probably you're also missing out on a lot of other thing. So of course one does document like certain amount of things that you need to document, but again there is no 100% in that also. Even if you're writing a book and you say that I want to write, say, okay, 20 pages a day, and then you sit down and you figure out that no, you actually wrote just 3 or 4 pages, for example. So then if you keep on documenting about it, so doing the real work versus the data about that, so that is the meta of it. So doing the real work is the real pure hardcore work in itself, and then documenting about that is actually meta. So you're just making all these notes for yourself that to do this, I took this much of time. Now how I want to do that better and do this and that, or sometimes you just get the insight in your head that I just need to keep the clutter out of my mind. And that is where Krishnamurti is saying that you do not need to do all of this analysis and slicing and dicing, because that is all unessential. All of that is not essential at all. What is only thing that is essential is you just be watchful of the state you are in right now, and whatever that you are doing, just watch yourself doing that, and you will yourself get to know how much of distraction is there. And as you watch that distraction, that's when the distraction disappears. You see where I'm coming from. And I mean, it's not my idea. It's what Jiddu Krishnamurti talks about in his all of his great talks. Phenomenal, phenomenal genius of a person. And he talks more about if you're just paying close attention. So it's only through the awareness and attention that the distraction would disappear. So, for example, if you're writing something and you find out there is a block in the mind which is trying to get ahead of that, so you're writing right now certain thing, but there is a mind which is trying to say, "Oh, what are you going to write on the next page? How does the story unfold in the next level?" And you say, "I don't know." So because actually you will get the answer after you have achieved, after you have entered that phase where you need to go. It's like taking a walk to a certain place. So while you're walking, you do not think of how would I be able to walk when I have turned at the corner on that street. You just walk step by step, one step at a time, just one step at a time, now. So that same thing is the process. The difference in just walk and the difference in actually doing a work, why it's so different is because of the various variations of variance that comes into play into our mind. So it is essential to keep the clutter out. And how do you keep the clutter out? There is no way but just the subtle awareness of that. You do realize, you do see that there is a lot of resistance and there's a lot of unpleasantness that is that I'm facing it right now. So you do not make, probably you do not need to start that thing at that point in time, because you do know that you need to maybe give yourself some rest time. Maybe your body is not at ease. You need some rest because you have just been overdoing everything at one point all by yourself, and you just feel it's overwhelming. I need some rest. So you take that rest, and then you, in a calm state of mind, because only from a fresh piece of paper you can write your story. So mine is like a piece of paper. If it's, but the only difference is it has got a lot of things scribbled down already on it. So if already there are a lot of scribbled pad on your sheet, you cannot write anything. So what you do need is a blank sheet before you can write a new story. Same thing is with the mind. If it's too much cluttered with a lot of thoughts, this idea, that idea, these people, notions, judgments, your prior memories that played out that say, oh, that didn't work last time. Oh my God, how's this thing supposed to work now? So all of these things. But if you can just come to a state of zero, which is through the awareness, now that that state of emptiness, that state of zero state would unleash lots of energy in you. And that's when you can feel so fresh in your being, in your heart. Your physical cells also undergo a change by that. And this is amazing. This is phenomenal because everybody has flashes of those states of consciousness into their living life. If they are not living absolutely unconsciously and trying to dodge around the problem with medicine or drinks. So that needs awareness to be present, to stay with what is, to be able to see where truly the problem lies. And that is all a game of awareness. And there's the best thing is there's nothing to do. You do not do something. It's not about doing, it's about not doing, it's about undoing. So you slow down. And why slowing down is essential, because if you're just doing something wrong and you're doing it very fast, let's say, for example, for playing guitar or playing keyboard, if you're just playing a wrong note very fast, it's difficult to correct that. But if you slow down and you see, oh, okay, maybe from this note to that note transition, I'm not making the sound right. So you need to be able to see in a slowed down format, because from that slowness you actually come to see, you zoom in to the problem statement. And when you have clarity, that's when your mind can work at its best. It's not in haze, in confusion, in ambiguity. So you need to have clarity. And clarity can come from a space where you are at the center, which means witness, which means I am, which is what our card says: trust. Trust in the I am. Thank you for watching. Bye.